Samsung Galaxy A05, Redmi 13c. Two popular smartphone choices if your budget is a little over $100. I would have added the Tecno Spark 20, but I couldn't get my hands on it. But anyway, let's begin. Kicking things off with pricing, the A05 is technically the cheaper phone, but with less storage. But if we use the same storage configuration on both phones, the 13C would then become the cheaper phone. So the Redmi should win this category, but I realized that some might argue that you could buy the base version of the A05 and just buy a memory card, and it would still be cheaper than the base 13C, which is true. But I'm still going to give it to the Redmi 13C because at the end of the day, the A05 would still be more expensive. I say that because the A05 comes with just a USB-C to USB-C cable in the box, meaning you would most likely have to buy a USB-C charging adapter. And if you're getting the original Samsung charger, that would cost you about 13,000 Naira extra. But on the other hand, the 13C comes with almost everything you need. It's only lacking wired earphones. So again, the 13C wins this round, because with it, you don't really have to spend extra money. Design could go either way, because people have their preferences, and also because they both have a U-shaped notch. So there's really no clear winner. They're both good looking phones, both tall phones, but for me, the A05 looks nicer. Maybe it's because of the color I got. Maybe it's because it kind of looks like the high-end Samsung phones. I don't know, but I would give it to the A05. I would love to hear what you guys think though. Which is the better designed phone? At first glance, you might think the displays are identical. The same U-shaped notch, basically the same size, even the same resolution at 720p. They're also both LCD displays, but you would find the difference in the refresh rate. With the 13C, we get a 90Hz refresh rate, while the A05 is still stuck at 60Hz. For those who don't know, 90Hz is smoother than 60Hz. You notice this when you scroll and basically interact with your smartphone. Smoother is better, and that's why the 13C wins this round. Both phones use the same Helio G85 processor. Like I said in their individual reviews, for your average everyday phone tasks, both phones would have no issues handling them. They're also both capable of handling a bit of gaming. Now, although they both have the same processor, the A05 only comes with 4GB of RAM, while the 13C can go up to 8GB of RAM. I think if you're a bit of a heavy user, then you should definitely go for more RAM. So for those people, I would recommend the 13C. But for everyone else, the casual users, 4GB of RAM is fine. But yeah, the 13C takes the win here. They also both have a 50MP sensor as their main camera and an 8MP sensor as their selfie camera. But do they produce the same result? For the most part, no. The A05 has that very saturated look to it most times, and sometimes that looks great and other times it doesn't. So it isn't consistent, but the 13C kind of is. So I think the A05 has the better main camera, but isn't always the better camera. Hope that makes sense. And that's actually the same story with these selfie cameras. The A05, when it gets it right, looks the better, but it isn't consistent, and when it doesn't get it right, it's pretty bad. The Redmi, on the other hand, is pretty consistent, but doesn't get skin tones right. Looks kind of desaturated. They both shoot video at 1080p, and honestly, I'm struggling to pick a winner. The Samsung surprisingly lacks saturation, while the Redmi seems to have too much contrast going on. Which would you pick? 5000 mAh is like the default battery size for budget phones, and they both come with one. So you can expect about the same results with battery life. These phones would easily last a whole day with average use, and with heavy use you can expect 8, even 9 hours of screen on time. Where you'd see a difference is with charging speed. The A05 supports 25 watts of wired charging, while the 13C supports 18 watts. The A05, if you remember, doesn't come with any charger at all, while the 13C comes with a charger, just not the 18 watt charger. So to get the fastest charging possible on both phones, you would have to spend extra on their respective fast chargers. The Samsung wins. Here are some extra things to consider when choosing between these two phones. The A05 doesn't come with a fingerprint sensor. The Redmi 13C does. The A05 also doesn't have an inbuilt screen recorder. The 13C does. The A05 comes with Android 13 and One UI 5.1 core version, while the 13C comes with Android 13 and MIUI 14. Samsung is promising 4 years of software updates, while you might get 2 with the 13C. If you were paying attention, then you probably noticed that the 13C won more categories and technically is the better phone. And I hate to do this, but the truth is, for some other people, the A05 is the better phone. It's all about what you care most about at the end of the day. If you want the better spec phone, the best performer, then the 13C is the phone to get. But some people might want Samsung's One UI, their 4 years of software updates, or even their 24-month warranty. Everyone just has to decide for themselves. So tell me, which would you go for? Let me know in the comments. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to drop a like, and I'll see you when you see me.